Hello, Ms. Bell's Algebra 2 class. I'm looking at the copy of solving quadratic equations using quadratic formula. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each problem here, and then you could take, from my notes here, what to do with A, B, and C, and then, what to do in all these, different spots here. All the blanks you could fill in. I did it on paper, so taking a look at that first one, this is your A, this is your B, this is your C, and taking those values and plugging them into the quadratic formula where the A's, B's, and C's go is right here. You may want to pause that so you can take a look at that. You can also look up a quadratic formula calculator. That is helpful to check your work to see if everything's done properly. And for instance, there's one on Calculator Soup, and it's just a quadratic formula calculator. Once again, you just look up quadratic formula calculator. You plug in your A, your B, and your C, and what's nice is it takes you through step by step in case you're having problems with the even ones, because I'm going to only do the odd ones. So back to this. I plugged in my A, B's, and C's. I start to work it out. You can see here, this is the second step right here. And then you would be filling those blanks in on line. 4 plus 60 would be 64 because 4 minus a negative is plus. Square root of 64 is just going to be 8. So 2 plus 8 is 10 over 2. So your first answer would be 5. 2 minus 10 would be a negative 6 over 2. Negative 6 over 2 would be negative 3. All right, taking a look at the third one. So I'm looking at that problem right there. And I rewrite it right here. I put it in standard form, subtracting 3 from both sides. Here I've located my A, my B, and my C. I plug in my A, B's, and C's into the quadratic formula. I start to work it out. I end up with 144 underneath the square root symbol. And so the square root of 144 is 12. So negative 6 plus 12 is 6. So my first answer is 6 out of 18. 6 over 18 equals 1/3. If it's negative 6 minus 12, you get negative 18 over 18, which equals a negative 1. So your answers are going to be 1/3 and negative 1. Take a look at number 5. That one looks pretty darn ugly. What I'm going to do in number 5 right off the bat is I'm going to multiply each term by 6. So if I multiply it by 6, I get 2x squared, and I get 3x, and I get 5. That gets rid of all the fraction. Then I have my A, my B, my A, my B, and my C. So 2, negative 3, and negative 5 after I put it then in standard form. Here's my A, B's, and C's. I have my A, B's, and C's put into the quadratic formula. This becomes 9 plus 40, which is 49. Square root of 49 is 7. 3 plus 7 is 10. 10 divided by 4 is 5 over 2. 3 minus 7 is negative 4. Negative 4 over 4 equals a negative 1. So your two answers are 5 over 2 and negative 1. And I don't know if, when you're putting your answers here, if it would take 5 over 2, or if you want to do 5 divided by 2, you could do that and, figure out that answer that way. Number 7. Taking a look at this one. And up here, what's nice is they give you, I didn't notice that on the earlier ones, but they did. They give you the quadratic formula right there. So you figure out your A, B, and your C. So this one's 1, 12, and 24. Then I put my A, B's, and C's into the quadratic formula. I ended up getting under the square root symbol 144 minus 96, which is 48. So I changed that to 16 times 3. Square root of 16 is 4, so I could bring out a 4, and I still have the square root of 3. So negative 12 divided by 2 is going to be negative 6. So I'm going to have negative 6 plus 2 square root of 3, or I'm going to have negative 6 minus 2 square root of 3. And that's why it looks like this. you're going to have your plus, you're going to have your minus 6, and you're going to have your 2 square root of 3 and 2 square root of 3 there. Number 9, I have right here, I have this problem for you, and you have to put it in slope, or you have to put it in standard form. Putting it in standard form right here. Here's my A, my B, and my C. I got all those. I put it into this formula, quadratic formula. I get 144 minus 84, which is 60 square root of 60. I'm going to break that down into 4 times 15. I could take out the square root of 4, which is 2. So I just have 215 here. So it's going to be, and I see the way it is here, it's going to be, just write yours all over just 1/7. I split mine up. I have negative 6 over 7 plus square root of 15 over 7. You could just have negative 6 plus square root of 15 all over 7 because it just has it all over 1, 1/7. And then your other one is going to be negative 6 minus square root of 15 all over just 1/7. And that would be what your answer is right there. And number 11. They even give you a hint to distribute first, and I did that. So I took that, I distributed the x into the parentheses. So I have x squared plus x equals negative 8. Put it in standard form. My a is 1, my b is 1, and my c is 8. I put my a, b's, and c's where they go into the quadratic formula. I end up with negative 32, or 1 minus 32, which is negative 31. And so it looks like it's going to be, your answer is going to be negative 1. The first one is going to be plus I square root of 31, or you could have square root of 31i over 2, or there's a comma there. It's going to be negative 1 minus I square root of 31 divided by 2. Okay, hopefully this was helpful. Once again, use that quadratic form calculator. That would be great.